It's me again, Sebastian, the owner of IronChainLabs, and today I'm bringing a FAQ video to you guys. I'm pretty much gathering every single question that we got in our DMs, that we got in the spaces and during the AMA as well, where we simply didn't have the time to answer them. And yeah, pretty much we gathered them all together and we will be going over every single one of them during this video. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, coming to our first question. What is IronChainLabs? What problem does it solve in DeFi? And how is it different from existing ecosystems? That's a pretty good question. It got to the point where it's already a running meme joke inside of our community, where the first thing that people ask when they come into our Telegram groups or during spaces is, what is IronChainLabs about? And to be fair, it's a pretty ambiguous and vague question, but at the end of the day, to keep it pretty simple, we are a bunch of programmers, a bunch of builders that came together, and we just want to provide tools, we want to provide utility for every single trader out there, just to make their trading experience better, giving them more quality of life and having everything in one single place. So yeah, you can call us pretty much a platform where we host all of those apps, we host all of those utilities in one single place. So that's pretty much what IronChainLabs is. Of course, we got as well those things that have to do with tokenizing businesses and offering white labels and other solutions to other projects, but that's pretty much secondary. But yeah, that's what IronChain is. And what problem does it solve in DeFi? I already answered that in the first statement, but what we're trying to solve are many issues that go into the same category. And it means that it's just issues that we encounter on a daily basis, but they are not big enough to cause anybody to step up and fix those issues. But if you get them clustered, if you have a bunch of those small issues together during a trading session and so on, it starts getting really unbearable. And in DeFi, we have our biggest issue in DeFi is that everybody's trying to build their own kind of application. Everybody has a different user experience. Everybody has a different user interface as well, and is trying to do something different, where at the end of the day, when you're trading, you're gonna end up with a lot of applications running at the same time. So probably the biggest issue that we are aiming to solve, and we are already solving, is by offering all of those tools, offering all of those applications and functionalities in one single place. So you don't need to be jumping around tabs and windows and so on. So yeah, in a nutshell, offering quality of life that is much needed, because in general, Web3 and so on, things are just going way too quick, where those basic issues, those basic problems are just overlooked, and most people don't even recognize them for being issues or problems. So yeah, just retracing a couple of steps back and fixing those issues. So that's pretty much what we're trying to solve in DeFi. Anyway, and how is it different from existing ecosystems? That's a really good question, because like I said, we have a lot of ecosystems out there. We have ecosystems for P2P, for swap, for blockchain layer intelligence, for AI, and so on. Pretty much for every single utility and functionality, there's probably a couple of hundred projects or ecosystems. So things get oversaturated really quickly. And what makes ours different is the transparency, of course, always being up to date with the community, interacting with the community, being traders ourselves as well, me and Nico and pretty much the whole team. Of course, this sounds kinda obvious if you're in crypto, but it's not really true. A lot of times you got all of those projects that are aiming to bring something to crypto, but the owners and the makers, they aren't really traders. They don't have the trading experience where they can really know what the community wants. So yeah, I would say what makes us different is of course the quality we provide. That's a huge step up. But what makes us really, really original is just that we want to incorporate the community in a lot of aspects. And once again, you can go even deeper and say that we're special because we have so many functionalities, we have so many things to offer that are all interconnected and linked. And yeah, I think overall we managed to do something really authentic, really original with everything that we have going on for ourselves. So yeah, it's a really vague question, but at the end of the day, I think every single ecosystem is special. Of course, some are less, some are more, and we're gonna try to be one of the ones that are more special. So yeah, coming to our second question: is IronChainLabs a product, a platform, or a broader ecosystem, and who is it built for? That's probably one of the main questions that we are getting lately. It's pretty much everything. At the same time, we are a product provider, we are a product service where we offer tools, we offer white label solutions, we offer tokenization infrastructures, we offer community as well, we offer research. So there's a lot of things that we offer that could be considered a product. A platform, of course, because we are hosting SaaS products, we are hosting software that is on the internet. So I would call it a platform as well, because it's just not one single thing, it's a lot of things in one single place where people will be there for all sorts of reasons. So yeah, we are a platform as well. And of course, a broader ecosystem in general. So yeah, I think the ecosystem point is more like we got all of those things pretty much combining and interlinked with each other. And this is what makes us an ecosystem. The moment we get to the point where everything is running, we got the tools running, we got the research going on, we got all of those functionalities working how they're supposed to work, then I would call it really a full-fledged ecosystem. But yeah, to be quite simple, we are everything at once. And who is it built for? That's as well something that we've been getting lately in the spaces, because we like to mention that we want to help onboarding people, we want to help onboarding normies, we want to help as well make the learning curve and the education in crypto a little bit easier. So people tend to think that more advanced traders don't really have a place in IronChain, but it's quite the opposite, because once again, we are providing all sorts of tools. We're gonna have tools that are more leaned for the beginners, for basic traders, and we're gonna have tools and solutions as well for the traders that are more advanced. So yeah, I think there's something for everybody in there, even the ones that just wanna trade, the ones that just wanna be investors. Of course, we're gonna have our coin, we're gonna have staking, we're gonna have liquidity pool. And yeah, I think it's built for everybody that has anything to do with crypto, even real life businesses that never heard of crypto before. IronChainLabs would be something fitting for them. So yeah, like you guys are already seeing it, IronChainLabs is pretty much a huge umbrella where we are gonna expand and expand and cover a lot of niches that have to do with the new wave of Web3 and as well crypto in general. So okay, third question: what does the chain that never breaks represent in practice? That's pretty much our slogan. We like to use it. Either it's like, okay, make it simple, make it IronChain, or the chain that never breaks. And it represents pretty much a ecosystem, a platform that is robust enough to survive market downtimes, and of course as well certain times where people are just not that engaged with crypto. So yeah, we want to be as robust as possible, of course still offering the quality and the top-notch technology that you can expect, where usually things aren't that robust as they seem like to be, simply because they cover really specific niches that can either explode or die during a single day. So yeah, it simply means that we're trying to build something that will endure the test of time. We want something where if people are tending to use a certain functionality of IronChain more, that the whole ecosystem doesn't just collapse. So yeah, pretty much the chain that never breaks. It's a slogan at the end of the day, but of course it's gonna be reflected in our working and building mentality, where we just want something that will be there in a couple of years, because that's pretty much what makes the ecosystem be big and be recognized. There's so many projects coming out that simply die in a matter of weeks, and you know, they have good utility, they have good solutions and so on for Web3, but at the end of the day, if the project is abandoned, then it doesn't matter what solution you're offering if people don't know your project, or because it's simply dead. But yeah, that's pretty much what the chain never breaks means. Okay, number 4. What is the long-term vision for IronChainLabs, and how do you plan to achieve sustainable recurring revenue? Probably one of the longest answers that I can provide for a question, because this pretty much entails the whole purpose of enduring the test of time. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that will generate revenue, and once again, there's no shame in admitting that you need money, you need monetization means to keep a project going. It's just like businesses work, and in general crypto as well. And in our case, it's no difference. Of course, we will have tools that are going to be monetized, but once again, most of our ecosystem is going to be free. Most of our ecosystem is going to be accessible without any paywalls. But the most advanced tools that run on servers, that run on certain technology, that we have costs running ourselves, of course, those tools will be monetized. On top of that as well, fees, of course, they're not really big. We're talking about 1 to 2% fees on every single trade, or, you know, most activities that will run on our ecosystem. That's the revenue, but I would never build an ecosystem just based on fees, because it's just begging to, you know, just abandon a project and die, because once again, it's not sustainable. You cannot hope to be based solely on volume when it comes to recurring revenue. But yeah, arguably the biggest point that will provide us recurring revenue is firstly the research of new tools. Of course, if we come up with some good technology, if we come up with some good solution for a problem, we can white label it. White label, for the ones that don't know it, is pretty much just offering the software you have for a business. Like, let's say there's a business that comes to us and asks us, okay, IronChainLabs, what you guys have there is pretty good, and we want to purchase the technology and use it as our own brand, under our own brand. That's pretty much white label, and usually those deals, they go well over 6 figures, mostly 5 to 6 figures, simply because technology and programming is expensive, and it doesn't even matter if AI is going to make it cheaper or not. At the end of the day, good programming to good technology takes time and effort, and of course money as well. So one of the biggest points. And of course, there's a lot of tad bits where we're gonna have a exchange, liquidity pools, we're gonna have the NFTs, we're gonna have as well the trading system where we will have profit share on top of that. So let's say we got 1,000 people using our trading system, and we are really pumping out those good signals, we're giving them some good trades. Pretty much this will give us profits as well. And I think that's a good way to do it, because once again, we are only gonna make money and those revenues to sustain our ecosystem if we are actually offering quality and results. And yeah, so I think it's pretty good. There's a lot more to it when it comes to make a structure that will be providing money throughout the years. But at the end of the day, I think this is the best balance between actually providing value for free, and at the same time having those step ups for things that aren't even, how can I say, community sided. Because once again, it's a meet me halfway type of situation where of course the community needs to invest into the ecosystem, but at the same time as well the ecosystem needs to provide functionality and solutions for a fair price. And of course we have that mentality of offering demos, we have that mentality of offering a lot of things for free and so on. And when it comes to the bigger deals and the bigger tasks, we would like to keep it in a business oriented area where we don't go over to the community and try to get as much revenue as possible from every single investor. No, we pretty much use the funds to get those singular individual deals going on and using that revenue to keep the loop going. So yeah, it takes a lot of weight, it takes a lot of pressure from the individual investor and from the community in general. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good structure that we got going. Coming to our fifth answer, how does IronChainLabs balance growth, decentralization, and long-term ecosystem health? Goes into the same niche, same category as before. To balance growth, that's a really good thing as well, because you don't want to be too slow, but you don't want to be too fast as well. Like I already said, a lot of projects are doing that. They are just going way too fast. They're just always trying to get the newest trend and buzzword marketing solution out there in the market. And of course, we're not a big fan of that. We want to keep things as fast as possible, but as well as slow as it needs to be slowed. It means that if we pump a lot of things out and they're just pretty much demos, they're prototypes and so on, then firstly the anticipation is gone. I wouldn't even say hype, because we don't want to be based on hype, but of course as well hype is pretty much gone if you just deliver everything at one instant. And that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is quality control, and that's the point. Programming and so on, that's a separate beast. But then after programming, there comes the QA, the quality testing and so on. And this is arguably the phase where most programs and softwares stay the longest time. It's the same thing with a video game. If you program a video game, the programming part is pretty straightforward. I wouldn't call it easy, because it's not easy, but it's straightforward. You have the vision in your head, you know where the game is going to and so on, you know what you need to program and get ready. But then you launch the game and people start finding bugs, people start finding issues and crashes and just not really an optimized program. And those are things that you cannot simply oversee or keep it on the short end. And that's the point. We are handling people's investments, we're handling people's money, and those things could be a killer. Those things could be an ecosystem killer, simply because, let's say we launch a version of the trading system that isn't really quality tested. What would happen is that it would give negative signals, bad signals, people would lose money, and of course it's going to be our fault because we didn't quality tested it. So yeah, usually it's better to be slow than fast, and that's where we are pretty much in between. We're putting on some good progress on a daily basis and always having something to share at least once a week, but at the same time we don't want to be the fastest. We just want to be pretty much the best when it comes to quality to time ratio. Anyways, decentralization, that's as well a really good point. There is a lot of advantages and there's a lot of cons when it comes to having an ecosystem that aims to be really completely decentralized, because a lot of people that come over and get onboarded, they don't really want to have anything to do with decentralized, because most of the time there's no guarantee of funds and so on. There's a lot of things that when it comes to security aren't really good in comparison to the centralized. So yeah, we want to be in the middle. We want to have some components that are centralized, especially the bigger ones, when it comes to auditions, when it comes to as well hosting those security protocols. And again, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your point of view, having certain documentation and regulations given by the German government and so on, so we can actually do the things that we want to do, like staking and trading in general and having an exchange. So yeah, we're gonna be a pretty healthy middle where we will have a lot of things that are centralized, but as equally a lot of things that are decentralized. So in the best case scenario, you're gonna have a community part that moves only in the decentralized areas of IronChainLabs, and you're gonna have a community part that only moves in the centralized area of IronChain. We wanna provide something for both parties, simply because there's no way around it when it comes to Germany's law system and crypto regulations, and of course Brazil as well. Soon Brazil will regulate crypto as well. But yeah. Long-term ecosystem health. This is pretty much just a key to everything that I sell to now. Is just finding the balance. Balance is probably the best word you can use when it comes to ecosystem. Just like in nature, just like in a government, just like in a currency, it's always balance. It's always balance. If there is a predator that is, you know, killing way too many preys, then the ecosystem breaks because it gets unregulated and there's way too many predators. And it's the same thing when there's way too many prey animals, and then pretty much they destroy the ecosystem as well. It's just like in nature, just like in a government. You always need to have a certain amount of balance, and this is where we are putting arguably even more time than actually programming the tools. Me as an economics major as well, it's pretty much programming a own little currency bank system when it comes to hosting those endeavors. So yeah, I think the long-term vision is once again having everything working together at the same time. Let's say the staking is being overused. A lot of people are using the staking, that we still provide incentives for the other areas and points that IronChain provides. So yeah, that's a good way to put it when it comes to holding up ecosystem health. A fair bit amount of marketing, not too much, so we don't end up selling us for cheap. Not too less marketing, I would call it. Not enough marketing is bad as well. And so on. So a healthy portion of everything, the yin to the yang. Question number 6. Where do you see IronChainLabs in the next 1 to 3 years? Okay, I would even call it a dream instead of envisioning something, because I do it with a lot of passion, in case you guys didn't notice it. But my dream, and let's just call it then a vision for an IronChainLabs, is that once again, everything is running smoothly, correlating with each other in the sense of we got tools that are linked to the staking, we got staking that is obviously linked to the coin is linked to everything, where people go into the ecosystem and they pretty much get a pipeline where they end up using everything that the ecosystem has to offer. So one of the main points is that we are not redundant, that actually people always find utility in us. On top of that as well, having a really good community. I already went over that in the spaces, but once again, I want us to have a subculture when it comes to our forum, where people are going to be communicating with each other mainly on IronChainLabs when it comes to exchanging knowledge, when it comes to trading, when it comes as well to freelancing. Like, let's say there is a certain freelancer providing his service and he's only to be found on IronChainLabs, where of course we're going to have the vouching system and so on, where people are going to create those subcultures where they are going to pretty much tell people, okay, you need a designer, go over to IronChainLabs, they have a pretty good one. You need a business for your Web3 integration, go over to IronChainLabs, there is a pretty good programmer over there. So yeah, at the end of the day, just having a community where every single given moment of the day there's people communicating, exchanging knowledge, giving feedback on the tools, and just growing. So I see IronChainLabs in that. I would even say even earlier, maybe in 6 to 8 months, I will see IronChain go to the point where we have everything working with each other, where we have a community with subcultures. And in 3 years, I would probably be bold enough and say that we at least gonna be thinking about turning into a second layer, or maybe we're already gonna be a second layer. But yeah, in 3 years for sure, we will probably be already a second layer of BNB. Okay, coming to the Access Cards NFTs, there are 3 questions. I'm just gonna run them down and give a complete answer because they are pretty much all really similar to each other. But yeah, what are the Access Cards NFTs and what utility do they provide within the IronChain ecosystem? How do Access Cards evolve over time, and can new tools or features be added after mint? And are Access Cards required to access IronChain tools, and will there be different tiers or limits? All of those questions are pretty good. For the ones that don't know, we are pretty much a couple of days away from our NFT launch. And those NFTs, they are not really cosmetic, they are access cards. They will provide advantages inside of the ecosystem. Firstly, they will give you access to tools, and it's going to be a lifetime. It doesn't mean that you will get access to every single tool in the future, but for sure, for the tools that we have in our roadmap and on our deadlines, those more advanced and sometimes even experimental tools will be given to NFT holders. We will have different levels and tiers where a certain tier will give you only access to the NFT group and some tools. Then there will be another tier where it will give you access to the medium tools and a couple of more advantages. Then the advanced tier where you got fees coming your way, where the ecosystem will give you some fees depending on what NFT you have, because every single one after advanced will give you fees as well, and pretty much pays out by having the liquidity pools going. So yeah, a lot of advantages. You get access to our group where you will have the possibility to test demos and experiment with new prototypes. You will have as well access to, like I said, different tiers of tools, basic, medium, advanced tools, and getting fees from the ecosystem as well, from liquidity pools and etc. Of course, we're going to provide some more benefits and advantages, but they aren't really that important to the greater scheme of things. And yeah, the second one was if they can evolve over time, and if features can be added or new tools can be added. Of course they can. The NFTs, we can pretty much mix and match how we want them to be, in the sense of if there's a new tool that wasn't planned in the roadmap, of course we're gonna add it to NFT. It's possible. And even after mint, you're just gonna have a new tool to access on the website once you log in, and the website recognizes that you have the NFT in the wallet. But yeah, they will evolve over time. Of course, we will not have everything already going on when it comes to the benefits. So it's step by step. It's having like 5 to 10 tools, then more benefits, more insights, more prototypes coming out. They will evolve over time. Anyways, access cards are not required to access IronChain tools. Once again, I want most of the ecosystem to be free. I want knowledge and in general quality of life not to be something that is really gatekept by money. But of course, the more advanced tools will require either payments and subscriptions or one-time credits, or they will require the access cards NFTs. And like already mentioned, yes, there will be different tiers and there will be limits as well when it comes to supply. But besides that, you're gonna be able to trade the NFTs. You're gonna be able to sell or transfer the NFT to different wallets, or sell it to a friend or give it to a friend. It's gonna be like open trade. You're gonna be able to do whatever you want with the NFT cards. They are not like hard locked by any means. Coming to the next topic, referral system and incentives. Number 10. How does the referral system work? Who is eligible? And how are rewards tracked and distributed? That's a point that we didn't really go that deep into spaces, but now we can. So pretty much the referral system, there will be 2 different types of referral system. We will have one that is for the pre-sale, that is hosted on PinkSale, where they pretty much take over the whole part on how our rewards tracked and distributed. They have their own referring system where you do a whitelist, you give those referrings out, and they pay out 5% rewards. So if somebody buys the coin IronChainLabs through your link, you will get 5% rewards on that. And the tracking is done by PinkSale, of course. And when it comes to the second type of referring system that we will have, it's gonna be the tools referral system, where our tools, they will have a link that you can share with people, and if people use the ecosystem or if they use the tools under your link, they will give you payouts on that. And once again, it's tracked simply through the back end. We have a contract that will be deployed on that as well, where every single wallet will be linked to each other, pretty much like Axiom does it. But yeah, the referring system for the tools is going to be really good. It's going to be really in depth. There's going to be as well first, second and third layer invites, so you can really build something really cool, and giving out incentives in general for people to promote our tools. Once again, doing something good for the community, helping people having access to those tools and getting to know IronChain, and at the same time you can get some pretty good rewards on that. So yeah, that's pretty much the incentive for the referral system. Of course, they won't be given out to everybody. It's going to be a partner program. They're going to be a little bit more exclusive, the way how you will get a ref link to the tools. But yeah, of course, it's not going to be like gate cap behind $20. It's not going to be that hard. You just need to be active, you just need to be engaged, you need to have a little bit of a following, and that should be more than enough to get a ref link system for IronChainLabs. Coming to our next topic, pre-sale. When is the pre-sale? How can people participate? And what will the funds be used for? That's really good point, where we already explained it a couple of times in the spaces, but we cannot really go that much deep into it, not before we don't public our whole manifesto with the white paper. But the pre-sale is planned to be in the first quarter of 2026, so pretty soon, in the next 2 months. We don't want to give an exact date simply because of delays, and we just want to deliver it when it's done. So yeah, you guys are still really early to our ecosystem. How can people participate? There will be a couple of ways, either getting a ref link from somebody that will have a ref link, like mentioned before, buying the coin on PinkSale, or doing it directly on our website. There will be a couple of ways. Of course, we're going to be working as well with different launchpads and platforms that will offer our coin as well. But yeah, the easiest way arguably is just buying the coin on our website. You just go on our website, you swap it, you have the coins. What will the funds be used for? I think that's a really weird question, because if people are gonna buy our coin and we will gather the pre-sale money, the money of course is gonna be flowing mainly into the chart. Of course, we will have as well a supply, a tokenomics that will allow us to have different dynamics when it comes to supply, and of course as well vesting for our team and for ourselves, vesting for marketing as well. So yeah, of course, every single fund that we gather on our pre-sale will be used for tools, will be used for the chart as well, because if people are buying coins, they don't want to see a coin launch with, you know, 30-50% less than they actually bought the coin for. So yeah, mainly for liquidity, mainly for the liquidity. This is where the funds are gonna be used. Okay, partnerships and collaborations. Who can collaborate with IronChainLabs? What types of partnerships are you looking for, and what does the partner group work? How does the partner group work? Sorry. Yeah, who can collaborate with IronChainLabs? Pretty much everybody that has the engagement and the hunger to be a builder on CT. So you don't need to be a big startup, you don't need to be a huge project or ecosystem to work together with us. Simply by showing that you're a building entity, that's more than enough a reason to actually cross-promote and work together with that ecosystem. So yeah, of course, we work with businesses. Of course, we work with other projects, just like Uray project. It's a project that we worked with recently and collaborated with. Just in general, be a builder. It doesn't matter if you have a whole team behind you or not. It doesn't matter if you're an individual or a business. Just be a builder and be engaged with us. This is pretty much how you can collaborate. What types of partnerships? That's already answered. We want builders. We want an ecosystem that provides value. Because that's the point. You get the fame from the people around you, and of course we received a lot of offers that we declined simply because we know, okay, if we work together with them, it's gonna damage our reputation, because they already posted 200 different projects this month, and you know that people are gonna just see us as one of many projects that he's posting again. So yeah, we don't want, I would say, those mass KOLs. We don't want as well with degen pages calling us out. We actually want builders pages working together with us and providing value for us as well in, of course, mutual sense. So yeah, we don't want this type of partnerships that usually meme coins go for. How does the partner group work? The partner group is a group that we opened recently where reflings, people that have reflings and partners and collaborators will get in, and pretty much it works by sharing some insider behind the scenes sneaky peeks into IronChainLabs, so they actually have some cool content to front run, in the sense of, okay, we share them that we're planning a tool, and this is going to promote them to be somebody that will make a video about this tool by having this exclusive privileged information. So yeah, I think that's a really good incentive to be in there. And of course, it's going to be a extra type of care when it comes to the people that are representing our image. We want to provide them with videos, we want to provide them with images and pics and so on, so they can actually do some fire content for us. But yeah, there will be a couple of more benefits, but this is pretty much how the partner group work. A lot of people in one group, especially the ones that represent us. Security, trust, and safety. How does IronChainLabs ensure security and protect the community from fake NFT scams or impersonators? This is going to be only a issue for now, where we don't have anything launched, where of course there will be LARPers, of course there will be fake projects trying to farm our name and trying to farm our effort. But again, what we can tell people is just to not buy those coins. If we don't post a post with the link of our pre-sale and with the link of our NFT collection, the best way to stay secure is just by not buying anything without double checking the Telegram, without double checking our access wall. And in the worst case of doubt, just send me a DM and I should be able to respond pretty quickly when it comes to that. But yeah, ensure security overall and protect the community. Moderation, we need a lot of moderation, that's for sure. To keep everything clean and prevent spams and scammers to be in the groups. On top of that as well, handling the protocols in a responsible manner, because we will have security protocols when it comes to the trading system. We will have auditions as well that will run on a quartal basis, so every 3 months there will be a third party coming over to us. Let it be either the back end or the front end, or even in person if we get to the point of hosting servers and having an office, just to ensure that the security protocols are kept in a sense of, okay, how are you guys handling transactions? How are you guys handling client information? So yeah, this gives a lot of trust and of course security as well, because it's something that needs to be kept, and they give us as well a lot of guidance when it comes to how to handle those type of things. But I think in general, there's not a lot of points that could go wrong when it comes to security and protection. So yeah, we're taking a lot of care when it comes to that. Okay, coming to our second to last question. Community and participation. How can community members, builders, and supporters get involved and contribute to IronChainLabs? Pretty much by just supporting the ecosystem in general. This means liking and engaging with our posts. This means being active and respectable in our communities. Let it be X, let it be Telegram, let it be the forum that we will provide. Sending feedback. Feedback is arguably the most helpful resource that we could be needing. As well, being an investor helps us all, obviously. Sharing knowledge, trying out the tools, and shilling it to other people, actually telling people, okay, look, IronChainLabs has a tool that can help you. Go there, try it out. So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can support IronChainLabs, and every single way that we offer to support us is a way that we support back as well. We wanna always give it in double back, every single support that we get. So yeah, there's a lot of things to do. Pretty much the whole standard. Just be engaged, just interact, be respectful, give us feedback, give us constructive criticism, and this is the best way you can be part of us and support us. Okay, coming to our last question. Why should someone believe in IronChainLabs, and what values guide your decisions? Okay, yeah, seems to have a typo in there, but anyways. Why should somebody believe in IronChainLabs? That's a pretty hard question, because everybody has a certain criteria to earning and giving trust. And in our case, I would say that we are really transparent, probably one of the more transparent ecosystems. On top of that as well, I'm doxed. Nico, as the co-founder, is doxed as well. Our team, the moment we start providing tools, will be doxed as well, where every single tool will have a library of references to the people that worked on the tools, so they will be doxed as well. On top of that, everything is open source when it comes to the user side aspects to it. It means that everything that a user could possibly interact with will be open source. Of course, the backend stuff that has to do with corporation secrets and so on, those are things we cannot share, like the trading system. This is something that we don't want to share to people, because it's something that people could copy and take away from us. But yeah, everything that has the interaction of users on the first layer will be open source. This gives trust as well. We will have every single badge from Pixel. This means we will have the AMA badge, we will have the KIC badge, we will have the verified badge, we will have the business badge as well. So there will be a lot of auditions. Our wallets will be audited as well. BNB, or in that case the Builders Protocol from Binance, will audit us as well and give us a certificate. So yeah, there's a lot of auditions, there's a lot of third parties that are constantly looking at us and checking if things are going good. Those are a lot of reasons that that people should trust us. And on top of that as well, just the love for the game, the passion, the creativity, the work, the effort that we're putting into the project speaks volumes as well. People always be texting us and telling us, wow, you guys been going on for days and days and days and days, posting, engaging, responding to questions, providing content transparency. And I think this is the point that speaks the most volume. But yeah, anyways, we are at the end. A couple of good questions, a couple of basic questions, but overall a pretty good FAQ. I hope it answered most of the curiosities, if not every single one of them. And I think that soon we can make another one when there are more questions to be answered. But yeah, anyways, if you guys want to gather more information, you can always visit our X. It's going to be linked below. You can join our Telegram, either send me a DM on IronChainLabs on X, or Smokey100X, or as well on Telegram, Sebastian Labs. There's a lot of ways to get in contact with me and get more information, or simply by reading the content that we provide. But besides that, I think we're moving pretty good. A lot of things going on at the same time, nothing to be worried about. And yeah, thank you so much for everybody that actually provided a question for this video. Anyways, stay forged, stay with IronChainLabs.